The most underhyped season in RLCS history is finally coming to a close with the 2024 World Championship right around the corner. As 16 teams peel their battered bodies from the floor for one last event, let's take a look at who could win it all, and who's going to be shipped off to APAC. The greatest casualty of anything not coming to land is that Snowy is now the most racist player in attendance. That aside, Limitless's main goal at Worlds will be taking a game off of an OC or APAC team. Maybe two. They spent their second split getting bashed around by Mobula, and it always felt like they were a few steps behind them at every turn. Regardless, the South African squad are basically only here to gain experience and allow Epic to ignore the fact that they let the entire SSA region get fucked over by the bottom of the EU bubble for 6 regionals. Hey, maybe Tadai4 can have a flip reset on G2. I'm supposed to feel good that the APAC super team barely has any APAC players on it? Beyond Virtuoso, who to be fair might as well be from the region at this point, and Tho, who gave up a lifetime supply of wins over K-Corp in double elimination to farm $2,000 and 1/10 of a Bitcoin per event, the only real Asian Pacific blood in this team comes from Maxiu, who's half Irish anyways. Yes, they swept Chiefs. That's not a real accomplishment. Have fun scrapping with Pioneers for the glory of getting swept by a middling minor region team in the 1-2 round. Speaking of which... So let me get this straight. You spend the entirety of Split 2 playing third fiddle to the fucking Chiefs, you sub out Fiber for Mach in the last event and finally outplace them. Once you qualify for Worlds, you decide to put Fiber back in? What the fuck are you doing? Why even swap him out in the first place? This team screams, it's my turn to get swept by APAC, no matter how good Super Lucky is for OCE standards. Get your shit together. Please. With Power, the only real question is this. How are they going to go 2-3 this time? Maybe losing twice in a row after winning in the 1-1 round? Or is it going to be another round 1 upset like the one they pulled over Oxygen at London? Either way, they're getting shit-wrecked by a real team the moment they have even the smallest chance to do anything of note. The round 5 gods taketh and they taketh away. You know what they say, Torsauce, 11th time's the charm. Surely. Let's flash back to June. Once again, the Falcons swept through the early rounds of a Copper Box Major and found themselves in the Grand Finals as favorites. Once again, they went out with the whimper at the final hurdle. On paper, this team has all the pieces needed to win the whole damn thing. Elite defense, precision passing, the mechanics to back it all up, and a rock-solid playstyle that refuses to buckle. I just don't know if they can put it all together and play well through the entire event. Serves them right for playing in a meme region. I'm gonna be honest, I had a lot of hope for Secret coming into London. They were coming off of a dominant event win, and honestly in many regards looked better than Furia. To that extent, I was very wrong. Despite Game 5 wins over OG and the fucking Chiefs, they looked completely lost. They might be able to give a team or two a scare, but 2-3 is their ceiling. Maybe if KV1 wakes up and Mata turns his fucking monitor on, they can do something of note. Seriously, how is Brad your best player? This team is so hard to get a read on. In the final 2 regionals, they played so poorly that they gave the rumors that they were intentionally losing in order to make Complexity Miss Worlds actual credibility. I mean seriously, how the fuck do you lose to Erased? Even at the Major, where they started off with a great win over Mates, they still nearly shit the bed and had to avoid choking versus Oxygen in order to even make playoffs. And then they beat the shit out of Vitality and took G2 to 6, so what the fuck do I know? They'll probably beat G2 in the quarters before doing fuck all. As it is written. That was fucking pathetic. A regional triple crown in a top 4 at Copenhagen followed up by one of the most gutless performances we've seen out of a team since Energy Up and stopped giving a fuck about being competitive. A team with this level of talent should be nowhere near missing majors, much less top 16s against top Cougars in fucking SAW. You're lucky that Oxygen couldn't be bothered to show up for the last 2 events of the season, or you probably wouldn't even be here. Exiting before playoffs is a real possibility for this team if they bring the same form that they did for Split 2. Now watch them win the entire fucking thing because we can have nothing good in this world. What to make of Vitality? They've been fairly consistent this season and even won a regional crown, but this is a markedly different team than the one that stomped everyone at Worlds last year. Zen is still a top competitor, but Redosin and Alpha have faltered time after time to the point where this is beginning to turn into a carry job. If the rumors that the former was sick during their series against Furia and London are true, then I have no doubts that this team can make a deep run, but it'll take a return to form for Alpha to really get them going. If that happens, the rest of the world better look out. Otherwise, we're gonna be in for another year of the only thing worse than shit talk. French shit talk. Quick, someone check in on Monkey Moon. I need to make sure that he hasn't sunk so far into his chair that he's up and fused with it. This team absolutely cannot play in front of a crowd. On paper, their losses aren't that bad. Going down to G2 in Copenhagen and Gentlemates in London isn't terrible, but how they lost sure as shit is. Blowing a 2-0 lead to lose 4 straight against G2 and getting absolutely fucking destroyed by Mates in the worst playoff loss on LAN of all time. They have the ability to pull it together, but this team is fraudulent until proven otherwise. And now there's going to be a crowd for Swiss too. Have fun. How do you even begin to analyze the mates? The fabled EU leftovers came into Copenhagen as the 9th best team in the tournament in some regards and proceeded to complete arguably one of the most difficult LAN runs of all time and won the whole goddamn thing. What followed was another lackluster online split completed by a London major that saw them get one goal away from a rematch with G2 in the grand finals. Assuming that they can keep up their offline form, Gentlemates will be one of the title favorites. I just can't shake the feeling that they've overplayed their hand. They're losing to Carmine, aren't they? Much to the chagrin of fans of Shopify Rebellion and good Rocket League, OG brings up the rear for North America as everyone wonders how the hell JNaps is still the best player on this team. To their credit, coming back from an 0-5 start to the season with back-to-back LAN appearances is no small feat. They've done absolutely nothing with those opportunities. This team's floor is 1-3. Its ceiling is also 1-3. There's just not that much you can say about them. Maybe Calm can shit-talk his way to Swiss round 5? LJ said to him, "I am the way, and the truth, and the life." Space Station Gaming's Cult of Wilt will be looking to make a surprise run through the playoff bracket after getting over a streak of gen.g, and gen.g in the Split 1 quarterfinals. They've shown the ability to contend with the best teams in the world, but never the ability to win when it matters, and I just don't think they have it in them. Still, with Hoxter playing some of the best Rocket League of his career and Chicago turning back the clock, they're dangerous, and that's something the rest of the world can't ignore. If worst comes to worst, they can always rely on the backbone of their team. Racism. This is NABDS. Plenty of domestic success, only to shit the bed on LAN repeatedly. Except unlike BDS, they've crashed and burned in regionals more than once. On paper, this team should contend for the World Championship. In practice, Chromeball has resulted in Chronic being complete dog shit at times, with both First Killer and apparently Jack not being nearly consistent enough to cover for it. I see no greatness on this team. I smell another blowout quarterfinal exit. How the hell have you managed to make First Killer mid? G2's time for finally claiming a World Championship crown is here. Grand finals in every single event this season. Copenhagen runners-up, London champions. Hell, they even conquered their Team BDS and Team Vitality demons in one fell swoop. If G2 are playing at their peak, they will win the whole event. Atomic, Daniel, and especially Beastman have been unbelievable this season, and nobody can stop them if they keep their mental high. Keeping at bay the ghosts of G2 teams past will be the key to their success. This team cannot let the failures of 21-22, or even Season 7, keep them from lifting the trophy this time around. Good luck, boys. NA's counting on you. With how shitty this season was lining up to be, it's a welcome surprise that we've been given what might be the most open World Championship in RLCS history as a thanks to our continued patronage to this eternally frustrating esport. What is it, 8, maybe 9 teams that have a real shot at winning it all if they get their act together? As for who I think will be the last 2 teams standing, I'm gonna go with G2 versus Vitality. A rematch of the Season 7 Grand Finals, except this time both teams will have an axe to grind. Godspeed to the 48 soldiers that will be marching into Fort Worth.
It's going to fall to Ruas to the backboard. Beautiful control from him. Leaves it this side for TRK. The shot's there. It's almost good. LJ not just gets the save, also sends it forward. Does so much work. That is gorgeous from LJ.